Welcome to the Village Green NBTV show on the environment in our city. I'm Nancy Gardner, your host, and today we're going to talk about some people that really do something nice for our city. They really clean it up right here on the beach every week. So let's hear what they do and when they do it. We're also going to see someone who not only picks up trash on the beach, but makes art out of it. Can't wait for that. I'm here with a group that meets every Monday morning, and they do a very nice thing for our city. And I'm going to start off by talking to the woman who is the originator of the idea, and that's Sandy Fishbein. Sandy, tell us what you do.
Well, every Monday morning I come down at 7:30 and set up the buckets and pickers and bags for a beach cleanup that we've been doing for this summer will be our third season. And I just put it out there that if you'd like to come down and help pick up trash, come on down, and whoever comes down picks up trash for the day. So there's no commitment, it's very easygoing, and if you can make it, you come on down, and if not, that's okay too.
So you provide equipment.
Yes, we have the city actually gave us some pickers. The city, by the way, does a fantastic job. The city workers are great, but it's just there's so much trash, so it really does take a village. And so the city workers have given us the pickers. My neighbor donated buckets and gloves. I just have some gloves for everybody to keep everybody safe, but that's about all we need.
So you picked Monday because after the weekend?
Yes, Mondays the amount of trash on the beach is outrageous, especially with summer coming. There's just a huge amount of trash left on the beach, which is really sad.
Well, I found in walking on the beach that sometimes I'm impressed after a busy weekend that you'll see the trash cans are full, but people have carefully put all their trash right around there. They're trying to do the right thing. But then other times you go, what are these people thinking? This is our beach, all public. Have you noticed that?
Yes, my area that I focus on is all the walkways. So I do the walkway on the channel, these walkways, and then I go out and do the parking lot. And shockingly, the most stuff that I find are cigarette butts and plastic bottle caps, and they're literally at the feet of a trash can, an empty trash can. And yes, that is very frustrating. And we have also all had our fair share of finding things like, used condoms, broken glass, all of these horrible things that we just, you scratch your head. But nonetheless, we're all set up having gloves. Sandy's yelled at me. I've picked up glass in the parking lot several times, and we just do our best to we always know that we leave the beach cleaner than when we got here. So I couldn't be happier to do that. I've lived here since 1980, so it's my beach.
Well, that's a good feeling
Yes,
when you've
it's a
done
very good
something that improves the world in some way. So you also come out. You come out every week, or?
I come out every week that I possibly can. I moved down here with my husband and we were just looking to get involved in the community. I ran into Sandy at a party and she explained what she was doing. We swim on the beach, and when you see the trash in the ocean and you're swimming, it's just disgusting. So what I loved about Sandy is her idea, oh gosh, I'm going to do something about this. I'm not just going to sit and complain. I'm going to make it happen. And that was amazing, and felt like I really had to get involved with it.
So you're one of these people that swims between the buoys and that sort of thing?
Yeah, we would swim during that summer that we first arrived. We swam, every day back and forth between, that end of the beach and this end of the beach.
In spite of someone being chomped once?
We did read about that.
Oh, okay.
We try not to rub ourselves with, animal parts before we jump in the water. Yeah.
That's always made me a little nervous. In spite of all the years of surfing, that always made me a little nervous, just the plain swimming. So
I think the
I admire
surfers
you.
look more attractive though, because you're splashing around in the water. You look
maybe so. So have you found anything unusual on your beach cleanups?
Always.
Such as?
Always. There's anything from money to
Oh, that's nice.
paper. Well, not a lot. I wish there was a treasure out there. No, but, or there's shoes and coats, and they leave boards and baby bottles and diapers. You name it. I mean, it's just every day it's something different, and it's we found a watch the other day.
I found
Yeah,
that. I
you
found
found
that
a watch.
watch, yeah.
And
Earbuds.
Was it a Rolex?
It was not a Rolex, and I tried to read it without my reading glasses. So, but I
I
stuck
think it
it.
was a Timex.
Yeah.
Okay, well, they keep on ticking. We all remember that.
I left it for Sandy, but yes, we find stuff that's actually usable. And if we find a family and we've got a bunch of toys for kids, we will obviously give it to them. But we know if we don't throw it away, likely it will end up on the sand or in the ocean. And like on rainy days, we were here a couple of weeks ago on Monday, and it was starting to rain, and we know that everything we don't pick up is going to go through the wash and end up in the bay or in the ocean. So. We have been known to be out here in really bad weather, but it's only water, so I'm all in. Sandy and I, there's only usually a couple of us that do that, but yeah, I'm grateful that I have the time now that I can do that, and I'm a longtime volunteer, so this
We
fit
find
me
tons
perfect.
of like those little sand toys
Sand
all
toys.
the time, and like sometimes hundreds of them. And
Yeah.
I think it was Sandy's idea. We should find an artist to make some sort of collage to put on the wall of all
Well,
the plastic sand toys.
That's interesting because after we talk to you, we're going to talk to Ron Yeo, and he's made art out of what he finds on the beach. So that will be interesting
That would be an
to
awesome
see.
collaboration.
I
Yes.
know,
That would be
we could
a
save
good fit.
everything.
Yeah,
and he
because
could
now,
put it together.
What do you do? Do you just put your trash in the trash can or what?
We do. For the most part, during the summer, there's a lot of kids that come down, so we will ask if they want to pick out toys, and they do. But otherwise, I figure the city recycles, so we'll just, put it in the trash can, and that's it. Yeah.
Okay, so we need more artists making more art
Yeah.
out of it that
there
we
is
can do.
a lady here that she collects the toys, and she was going to make a collage, and we haven't seen it yet, but she's in the process. She's on vacation right now. Yeah.
Well, I think that's always interesting. I know that there's a discussion. Do you all know where the Randall Preserve is? It used to be called the Banning Ranch, which is at the north end of town. And this is an area that about 400 acres that was an oil field, is still an oil field, and was recently purchased to be permanently held as open space. And there's discussion among some of the local artists of getting commissions to the artists to take, when they start remediating the oil fields, taking the pipes out and everything, and creating art out of that, which will be also interesting. So you come down. Do you ever have people just suddenly see you and go, "Oh, let me help"?
Absolutely, and that's probably one of my favorite parts of since I started this, is meeting wonderful neighbors, that people that really care and are passionate, kind of like we are. That's how I met the majority of the people that come down to the beach cleanup.
So you say you might have 10 on a busy day?
Yeah, we'll have
full day.
on a full day. Well, normally. It's a nice rotation because people are traveling, and I seem to have at least 8
Yeah,
every
between
Monday.
6 and 8. And
Yeah,
most
and then
10 sometimes.
on a busy day, I'll have 12. So,
Depends.
yeah, it just depends. And that's what's great. People that I tell are so excited to have a way that they can volunteer, but not feel like, oh my gosh, I have to be there every Monday.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people like about it. And so it just kind of grew from, just me saying, okay, well, I guess I'll start a beach cleanup to, meeting wonderful neighbors and just giving everybody, I guess, a way to give back to our beautiful community.
Well, that's about as organic as you can get, a way of growing, for
And
sure.
anything of value, we turn into the lifeguards, and they put it in lost and found, and wait
Like
for the
keys,
people.
cars, which we find
Tents,
those a lot.
everything.
Well, yeah.
We always try to find
Shoes.
the owners. Like we found some credit cards and
yeah.
driver's license, and we always try to find the owners as best that we can.
Yeah.
I know that Fred's done some searches. I always say Fred can find that person. He can email them.
Well, and sadly, to your point, what Sandy said is we have a lot of people that will see us with our buckets. At first, Sandy and I would say that they think that we're like doing our community service because we got arrested or got a ticket. But we tell them, we just live in the community and we're trying to make the beach a better place. And people will say, oh, that's such a great idea. Thank you for doing it. And I always say, well, make sure you bring a plastic bag with you so you can help pick up trash that you see. And that's...
I mean, the orange outfits that we wear are a
I
giveaway,
know.
right?
We're usually
Oh,
dressed
yeah.
like this, so.
Or they think that you are homeless and scavenging.
And there's that, but we all have red buckets, so that's Sandy's signature is the red buckets, and you know we always hope that people that say, oh, that's a great idea, I'd love to help, and that they come back.
And I also have to say, I mean, it's an inspiration. I mean, she decided to do something about it in her own community. She didn't just like sit around and complain about this and go
Which
to
we
the,
like to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's very easy, but and it's kind of inspirational. It like inspired me to do some things in the community. So I mean, it's huge that she's
Well, and even when I was with Surf Rider, we would do regular beach cleanups, and we knew that for a lot of people, they were probably not coming. They might not be in the area. They might not, but they learned a lesson from it, and it made them more thoughtful if they were a smoker about how they got rid of their cigarettes or tossing things out. So I'm sure the same things happen. Even if the people aren't actually picking up trash, they may be discarding less trash carelessly.
Well, and we do hope that when I'm headed on the sidewalk and I find families, and that's usually when it's getting warmer like it is now, I will say if someone says something to me, I will always say, well, please, you know, to the kids, please make sure you leave your area, the beach, cleaner than when you got here. I learned that as a Girl Scout when I was a kid. And then I'll tell parents or grandparents that say, oh, that's so nice that you're doing that. Well, please pass it on to your kids and grandkids that it's really important. And I don't think most people understand that what happens is the birds pick up the trash and carry it into
They make a mess,
into
don't
the
they?
ocean, and then the fish eat it. I mean, it's a horrible cycle. And the days that we have surf along the surf line, the seaweed is just full of plastic.
Yeah.
It is so disheartening. But we do our best.
I'm guessing a lot of it doesn't originate here, by the way. A lot of it is washing out of the harbor
Yeah.
and out of the wash and out of the back bay. That's the stuff we see a lot of times on the
that-
surf line.
that's trying to get people to be more sensitive. And I think that's one of the reasons that we try to, certain groups will try to get the message inland, because the people that will come down to the beach a couple times in the summer and they see trash and they go, oh gosh, they don't realize that when they toss something, it gets into the
Yes, the
storm
system.
system and then comes out here, and that they're contributing to it. They just think it's, oh, these people in Newport are certainly messy. Like, no, we're doing our best.
And we know the city has just added I don't know what they call it, but a better scraper when they go through the sand, that it picks up a lot more stuff. So when I read about that, that was great news for us. And we're hoping that the city will start emptying the trash cans when the season gets busier, a couple of times a day, because they do get filled up. And all of that trash, if it's a windy day, it's gone. And that's a shame.
Well, speaking of talking to the kids, we always felt at the Surf Rider that you get to them,
Yes.
and you really get to the family, because they're like, Mom.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
So that's
the hope.
that's a great lesson. Well, a number of years ago, we had a lot of issues about the fire rings. Do you notice anything? Are they an issue at all?
That's the first place we go to, and because they do,
It's the worst.
it's there's a trash can right next to and there's trash everywhere, and there's no reason for that to be. But yeah, they're the messiest, and they're
That was
Yeah.
that was quite a controversy. I opened up a can of worms, or actually a hive of bees. I said, because I used to run down here,
Yeah.
and I would come out and I'd see broken glass by there, and I was like, and they were saying how much it cost, and I'm like, well, let's just get rid of them. Woo! No, they're very popular.
Well, the problem with that is people
remember
start
that
impromptu
controversy.
fires on the beach. So,
We've
like,
had
if you
that too,
remove
yeah.
that, you'll have fires on the beach.
And
so.
I guess sometimes they burn plastic and things that
instead
are.
of throwing stuff in the trash can that's right there, they throw it in the fire pit, and then the fire pits are a mess. And
Well, and when the
Everything
trash
around
can
it.
fills up next to their fire pit, they won't walk 10 feet to the
Right,
next
yeah.
trash can that's completely empty. They leave it on the side
Yeah.
of their
We're
trash
pretty
can.
lazy, aren't we?
And I think a lot of the issue is that there's after hours partying going on down here, and a lot of mornings when we come in, there'll be about 5 or 6 pits that are still hot. So that, I wish that there was a way that we could keep people off the beach when the beach is closed. because
Well, we're
that's
supposed to.
not-
There used to be a program where the police came down and did a sweep, but I don't. Since I'm
But
not.
they go over in the
Pirates.
caves at Pirates, and that we've seen we've seen the kind of trash where it looks like someone has stayed there for a couple of days down there. So it's
Yeah.
all bags full of stuff you need if you're going to camp out, and they're there. They just leave all their stuff there. Pirates is a really, well, it's always been.
Yeah.
I mean, even when I was a kid, it was bad.
Yes.
Trash-wise.
Yeah, it was always not a. Yeah. Anyway, so if someone wants to join you, when do they come and what time, and I'll sort it.
Yeah, everyone is welcome, and every Monday at 7:30 to
Ooh, got to get up early.
Yes. to 8:30. And the reason we did it so early is because when people start showing up on the beach, it's hard to distinguish, is it trash or is it yours? So we kind of get in and get out. And Monday mornings, there's usually a lot of trash. There's leftover from the weekend, and so Mondays are just a great day. But again, everyone is welcome. We have buckets, bags, pickers, enough for everybody. And there's always a special homemade treat.
Okay, all right. So now we're gonna get to the bottom. I've heard the story now.
There's one important issue. The best thing about it is very physically good for you and mentally good for you.
Another good point.
Yeah.
Because I've always said,
Yeah.
like just sweeping your sidewalk. Why go to the gym when you can be?
It's
So
healthy
this is bending and up
it
and
makes
that
you
sort of
feel
thing.
good to do it.
Excellent.
That's why we got the pickers, because when we started out, like I brought a picker from home and no one else used them, but my chiropractor said that I needed to use it. So, and I'm here usually at 7 because I go up to Oasis for a class afterwards. So I start early and I keep my bucket and picker in my car because I'm an original here, and I just start out, and I'll tell you, there's nothing better than being on the beach at sunrise and being out here before anyone else gets here, even if I'm picking up trash and it's horrible. And the channel walk is a horrible place for graffiti and glass, and so I do my best to try and really keep an eye out, because people, I just don't understand the thinking of people that do stuff like that.
They're not thinking.
But the other thing is we now have the app, the city app, where I can immediately, when I see graffiti there, I can send it in, and I've started doing that just in the neighborhood when I walk my dog. If I see plants overgrown on sidewalks where people can't get a wheelchair or a stroller through, I'll put that as a code violation, because it is, and they actually sent me a text and said we're giving out citations to remind people keep the sidewalk clean. So just there's a lot of things you can do just for your community, and
Well, it
Sandy
seems to me that this group is your impact is much more than just on the beach here. You're getting the city involved in new things as well, so that's great. So what I'd like to do, I'd like you to get your buckets and your pickers, and let's get a picture of you as you're about to set out, as if you were about to set out. Right, so here they are. This is how you identify them if you see them on the beach. Red buckets, they've got the trash pickers and their gloves on. And it's 7:30 in the morning every Monday at Big Corona. Now, get back to the real thing. You've painted yourselves as these selfless people who come out and pick up trash because you just want the world to be a better place. But I know a different story. I hear there's a real appeal that goes beyond just the clean beach, and that's called a cookie. Is that correct?
Monster.
So, is that a case?
That is absolutely true. Sandy is our fearless baker. She selflessly has cookies here every single week, so everybody gets to take something home, and it's just another reminder of the community that we have, just the small group that we have here, that Sandy is leading the way.
And I have a feeling that people would come without the cookies. I think it's a super awesome thing that she does.
But
the real pleasure is being around Sandy.
yeah, well, and I understand that the cookies are really good too. So that's always nice to have a little reward. Virtue is its own reward, but it's nice to have it rewarded in other ways as well.
Oh, I send her a text when she has an especially good cookie, just to tell her, put that up on your top 10 list.
I would say the trash picker's cookie book, but that doesn't sound like it's very appetizing.
We'll work on that branding.
Yeah, really.
Maybe the Beachcombers.
There you go.
Maybe the Beachcombers.
Oh, okay. See, well, you can tell who's from marketing, can't you? Well, thank you all very much for coming out. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate the work you do. I'm here with Ron Yeo, Many of you know him as the architect of such buildings as the Moose Center and the Back Bay Science Center, very environmentally sensitive buildings. But Ron is also an artist who uses what we have a lot of, which is trash. And you can only get a small sense of what it's like in the studio, but there is trash that he's picked up from the beach in these are drawers and drawers of it. There are buckets along here. There are more jars along here and there. They're full of bottle caps. They're full of plastics. They're full of just about anything you can find on the beach. And somehow you make art out of it. What made you think of it?
Well, it's a lot of fun, first of all.
We like fun.
Well, my wife and I have been walking the beach for over 25 years now, and I was amazed at the time that how many people were carrying around bottles of water, and didn't make any sense to me. And then I started looking around and seeing all the plastic bottle caps. And so I started picking them up and throwing them away, and then I said, well, I should do something with these. And so started me on a path of bottle cap art. And then it's evolved from just bottle caps to crazy critters and all kinds of fun things. So it keeps me out of my wife's hair very well, and I have a good time doing it.
Well, talking about the bottle caps, I mean, they've got by color gradations, a deep red, a scarlet red. Then he's got the different greens and different blues. I always think it was just a white bottle cap, but boy, there are a lot of different kinds of bottle caps.
That's for sure. Yep, never ending. And the bottle caps don't get respect. You know, everybody wants to recycle bottles and things like that, but they don't care about the bottle caps. But there's billions of bottle caps manufactured every day, and they get thrown away.
Yeah.
So,
well, let's go look at some of the art. All right, so Ron, tell me about this one.
this is one of my earlier attempts at using bottle caps for art, and I titled this "A Never-Ending Flow of Plastic to the Sea." And as you can see, there's a bucket that was picked up at the beach. All these items were picked up at the beach, and I started picking up more leftover abandoned beach toys, and now I have about 2,000 of them left. And then it kind of morphed into taking them and having a little bit more fun with them, and taking buckets and doing different things and shovels and all that, and doing nice crazy fun things.
Oh, that's a good. Well, let's go look. There's a caterpillar in here or something that I am particularly intrigued with.
Okay.
So, and this is?
This is a fun one. I've labeled Paradise Lost in a Sea of Plastic. Got a little Barbie doll and a bunch of other stuff picked up from the beach. So, kind of fun.
That is fun. And then the caterpillar, which is just covered with bottle caps and.
Yep,
what is the basis of it?
Those are coffee cans,
Oh.
Folgers coffee cans. A lot of fun, glued together and then tied together with various bottle caps. There's another one over here. I don't know if you can see that one or not.
Oh, yeah, it's got little
Folgers.
shovels for the feet.
Yeah.
Very clever.
Yeah.
And then there's a wall back there. I love that one. I mean, that is just striking. All those bottle caps arranged in patterns and everything.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun to do. Basically, I'm a savor. Saver,
right.
something like that. I save leftover things from our architectural projects, whether it's a ceramic tile, and then I use them in other projects. So this is a stainless steel garage door in a building down on the Balboa Peninsula that got a little dinged, and so it got tossed out. So I saved it for about 8 years and decided to do something with it. So I started putting in all my bottle caps in order and had a lot of fun. The biggest problem is that I think there's 15 bottle caps in a row, and that's more than a 12-pack, so you have to keep drinking more beer.
And this one, I said it's tight quarters here. Don't trash California. That to me could be a logo for all sorts of things.
Yeah, it's a good logo. Don't trash California, because we've got a lot of trash, and we need to preserve California.
Well, I must say, a great deal of beach trash has ended up in in your office. I'm sure that when you started your practice, you could walk around freely And now you have to sidle through things because you've done that. But I think each work is so interesting. I like it because of the story it tells, but I also like it because it's pretty. It's art, a lot of it. Many of these I would put on my wall for sure. They're very, very striking. But I do the message. Oh, you got some beer bottles there. Uh-huh. Got a little bit of everything. You got birds. It's amazing. And all of this is essentially just what you've picked up from the
Yep.
beach.
Just
You and your wife, do you go every day?
yeah, go every day. We pick up all kinds of stuff. Have a lot of fun.
Get your exercise. Get
True.
your exercise, make the beach cleaner, and then come home and create art.
It's the best part of the day.
Well, thank you for sharing with us.
No problem. You can have a tour anytime.
Well, that's our show. I think a lot of people are probably inspired to, if not come out here on the beach, to find another place to pick up trash on the occasions that they can. Let's all think about being more careful about how we dispose of our trash. Make sure that it actually gets in the trash can when we're throwing it away. And in the future, we're going to have a couple of more things on trash. How the city's investing in a project that will keep trash from getting into the bay, which will be nice. And also an update on how we're doing with our recycling in general, with our new 3 trash can methods. So until next time, let's all work on making our village green and trash free.